you support these videos or you like the content within these videos, please subscribe and comment in all of my videos. Thank you everyone, and have a nice day. Welcome to Project Argio Visual Basic Tutorial number 4, and today we are going to dive into code. I would like to thank all of my viewers. I know I've not had that many, but for all of you who are watching, thank you. So, open up your standard compiler, Microsoft Visual Studio 2008. If you do not have the compiler, please download it and watch my Getting the IDE video. Now that your compiler is open, let's create a new project by going to File, New Project, or pressing Create Project. Once we're here, as seen in my other videos, create a Windows Form application. Let's call it Tutorial number 4, and click OK. Now that you have your project open, we're going to dive into some code today. Now if your layout is not the same as mine, please move it by moving the little tabs on top of each item, such as Toolbox, Solution Explorer, and Properties. Now there are 4 ways to access code. The first way to access code is by right-clicking on form1.vb in your Solution Explorer and clicking View Code. The second way to access code is by going to View and then Code. The third way to access code is by right-clicking your form and clicking View Code. Or the final way to access code is by double-clicking your form. I'd like to remind you that your form can have certain attributes. Your form can load, your form's location can change, your maximized bounds can change, your size can change, and several other things. It can be clicked, it can be double-clicked, but let's just focus on load. So, double-click your Form 1. You'll see some code pop up that might be a little confusing. The first set of code that you see is public class Form 1. I'll explain what public class is, but you see this is familiar from previous videos. After that, you see private sub Form 1 load. Now, you probably don't know what private sub is, so you look at Form 1 load. Let's break this up. You have Form 1, and then you have load. Now, this might look a little confusing, but it's really not. Now, next we have all this mumbo jumbo, and I'll explain it a little bit later. So, we are going to make a button. If you don't know how to make a button, please watch my previous video called Getting into the IDE. So, let's make our button. Now, as always, like I tell you, rename the button, not the text on the button, but the name property. Let's name this to MainButton. Now, go to the text, and we're going to name it Click Me in the text property. Now, let's make a label. Put the label right across the top. Now line the label up with your button and make it look nice and tidy. Let's rename the label to Displayer. Now let's go down to the text label. And let's rename the text to blank. Now, double click the Click Me. what this does is it writes all this nice code for you, and it uses it using its main attribute, such as click. It has many other attributes, but it automatically starts on click because that's the obvious choice. Now, this is going to be very confusing, but I'm going to show you how everything here works. So, let's access the text property that we had for the displayer. So, what we're going to do is access the displayer's name, and we know that we created a object, a little label named displayer. The dot that we make is called an operator. The dot operator accesses the variables such as the text, the name, the tag, all this other cool stuff in here, and it accesses those variables and it allows you to mess with them. It even accesses functions, and I'll explain the functions in further videos. So let's do Displayer.Text. Now, do you see what we did? We accessed the text property of displayer. Right now it equals nothing, but let's make this text to, let's see, we're going to name this text to "You clicked the button." You've clicked the button. And finally, we are going to run the application. Now, what you've just seen is confusing, I don't blame you. We'll get into this later. But this is writing your first line of code. Let's run the application. Now you should notice that the compiler has changed wherever all the windows are. Now here is our little form that we made. Now let's see. Our code right here was Displayer.Text. Displayer was the text box way up here. Equals, you've clicked the button. So do you think when we click MainButton, click, so when we click the main button, do you think that the text will change? I think so. Let's click the main button. As you can see, the text has changed. Now, as down here in our code, that is a result of us clicking the button. So, displayer, this label we made, then the text value of the displayer is going to equal you've clicked the button. Thank you for watching this video. I will go into further depth of this in more videos. This has been a Project Argio tutorial. Have a nice day, guys.